Hey everyone, this is Mukesh Otwani once again from learn-innovation.com. Today in this video we are going to talk about a very interesting concept called web scraping. Okay, so not only we'll talk about web scraping, we'll also talk about how you can export the data into an Excel sheet and how you can send as an email as well. So it's like a complete workflow that we are going to automate now. Okay, so first we'll scrap the data. Again, I'm taking one example, but the same concept you can apply at multiple places. Okay, so in this example, what I will do, I will search for some product in Amazon. I will get the results, then I will fetch that results, okay, and we will dump that data into an Excel sheet. So it is going to create runtime Excel sheet for us, and that Excel sheet we will be sending, okay, with attachment. So this is like three different things that we are trying to automate here, and it's going to be very easy. It is just you need to understand how these things work. Okay, so in our previous videos we discussed, right, how to type, how to click, how to start browser. The second, or I will say the different videos we have seen how to read Excel and how to write Excel, and in the separate videos we already have seen how to send email with attachment, without attachment. It is just this video is going to combine all the concept, and I will show you how you can use it. So this will give you clarity, okay, how Python works, different concept that we discussed, right? We have seen list, how it works. We'll also talk about zip functions, and we will be writing small for loop which will simply append the data, and finally we will be sending email. Okay, so it's like multiple concepts we will be using. So if you understand this video, so many things will be clear in your mind. And if you talk about the freelancing website, right, multiple freelancing project you will get of this type. Like they will always give you kind of assignment where you want to scrap the data and send them at a regular interval. So in the upcoming videos we'll also talk about how you can schedule a test. So Python also have its own scheduler where you can run your automation script based on some time interval. Okay, so let's see how it works, and let's jump into the desktop and let's write the code from the scratch. So those who are completely new to web scraping, so just to tell you, web scraping is kind of a technique where you will scrap the data from particular website or from a particular product, okay, and then you will be using that data for some kind of analytics. So right now, let's say I just want to capture some data from Amazon. I want to extract the data, I want to store into some file, and then maybe I can use that file for some analytics or for some other usage. Okay, so let's say in this case I just want to search for Samsung, or maybe I can search for iPhone. So let's say I'm looking for some Samsung phones, okay, and let's say these are the list of phones which I'm getting. So if you just see, we got couple of results, right? There's some couple of ads as well. So what we can do, we can simply remove these ads. So in order to do that, what we can do, on the left hand side I can only say that I want only the Samsung brand. So you can see I got their product name, I got their prices, I got the ratings and everything, right? Now I just want to write a small web scraping script which will extract all the records, and when we talk about record, I just want their name and the phone number so that I can analyze which record I want, and I can see what is their range and everything. It's totally up to you. So let's do one thing. First part will be from Selenium, where we'll open the browser, we'll capture the details. Second part will be in Excel. Third part will be sending email. So let's do one by one. I already have a package created called web scraping demo. So let me create a Python file, and I will say this is web scraping Amazon. Guys, web scraping concept will remain same, okay, whether you work with Amazon or any other site. The things which I'm going to tell you will remain same, okay, so don't worry, you can apply at any application. So first of all, I need the web driver. Those who are completely new to this channel, before you start this web scraping, make sure you have installed PyCharm, which I'm using right now for writing the Python scripts, and you also need Python 3 installed. Okay, so in case if you don't have, I will recommend you to watch this video where we discuss everything about Python and PyCharm. Okay, so for this example I'm using Chrome, so I will start Chrome, and I'm also using Chrome driver manager that we discussed, where it will automatically take care of the browser's drivers and it will return us the driver. Second thing, I need to start the application, but yeah, before we start, let's maximize. And now let's do one thing, let's open the application that we want to scrap. In our case, we want to scrap Amazon, so I will just type this one, amazon.in. And now I just want to set some implicit wait, that in case something is not immediately available, it should wait maximum 10 seconds, but if it's coming before that, it should move forward. Then second thing is I need to enter this Samsung phone, right? So let me just do the same thing again. I will go to the home page, I will just right click, I will just do the inspect, and if I see, I have yes ID, which is 2-tab search text box. So let's use this. So let's write input, and I will use XPath now. I will try to write one small XPath where I'm checking input tag which contains ID this. Now if I simply remove this text, if I remove this 2-tab also, it should work. And yes, you can see only one matching node. So what we can do, let's store this, or maybe directly we can use here. I will say driver.find element. I will be using by class, okay, by.xpath, and you can see we have written a very smart XPath where it will only search input tag with ID search, and then I will simply use send keys, and I will use Samsung phones. Okay, then let's do one thing, let's search the same thing. I will just type Samsung phones, and on the left hand side you can see I'm getting a couple of ads. So let me click on this checkbox as well, so that I will get only the Samsung records. So you can see I got this text, so I can just write that find a span tag, because all this text under span, and I'm looking only for a text called Samsung, and you can see we got this, right? So the moment I click on this text itself, this checkbox is getting selected, right? So just use this particular XPath to click on that checkbox. I will be using same by.xpath, and this is the XPath that we are using, and I will say .click. Now once you click here, you will be getting all this, right, records. So let me just take the name. If we just expand this, so if you notice we have a class here which says age, size, medium, color, base, text menu, right? And if I simply expand this, I'm getting this name. So if I take this class, okay, and let's search that find a span tag which can, okay, let's use contains, okay, because we will simply try to optimize this. So as you can see, we got 24 matching nodes, so it seems like it matched all the records. As you can see, it highlighted all, right? Perfect. Let's try to remove some of the characters which is not applicable, and you can see still records are 24, fine. So if I remove this also, okay, we got 25. It means one additional record is coming. So let's try the old XPath, because this is giving some additional record, I guess, which might not fit into a requirement. So as you can see, the 25th one is this one, right, which we don't want basically. So let's stick to this one, which is a color base text normal, which will match all the elements. Perfect. So now what I will do, I will use find elements this time, guys, because when you work with multiple web elements, you need to use find elements that we discussed already. So by.xpath, and here I will just give this XPath which will match with all the phones. Now this is going to return me list, right? So I will just store this into phone names. So phone names is basically a list, guys, in Python. So this will return a list. We are storing into phone names, which is a list of web elements. Same thing we can do for prices as well. So if you just check the first price, okay, you can see we got a class called a price whole, right? So we can do the same thing. Still it says span tag, we will be using class. Instead of using this class this time, let's use this, and let's remove this space, and you can see we got the prices as well. Let's remove a also. Yes, so we got this. And what if I use this? Okay, so price is matching with multiple, so let's stick to price whole. Okay, so the second list will be find elements again by dot xpath, and here we will be getting all the which will be, let's say, prices, right? Now if you just want to see this part whether it's working fine or not, so let's run a small for loop where I will just get these phones one by one, okay, because this is the list, this is also list of web elements. So let me iterate this list first, which should return me list of phones. I will store one by one, and this is basically, guys, one web element, right? So if I want to just get their text, I will just say text, right? So this will return me all the phone numbers, sorry, phone names. And second for loop which I will run, which will basically print all the prices. So I will say price in prices. So basically it will take the first price, it will store into this price web element, and then I can again say price dot text. So what we did, we are iterating first phone numbers, sorry, phone names. I'm making a mistake again, and I'm iterating all the prices. So basically first phone name and the first price, this is how we need to combine, right, both. So I will show you how you can combine, but let's run this, and it will keep on giving you, it will just print after this phone names. So I will just do a print, okay, star into, let's say 50 times I want to print the star. And once we are done, maybe I just want to close it, so I will say driver dot quit. So it is going to start our session. It will search for Amazon, Samsung phones. Okay, so we did a small mistake, guys. We have to click here as well. So for the time being I will click it manually, then we will just write the code for this. So as you can see, we got the prices. Okay, if I show you, so these are the list of phones. Okay, so let's cross verify. So first phone was Samsung Galaxy M01, which is this, black, 3 GB RAM, 32 GB storage with no cost EMI, perfect, right? And if you see the prices also, you will get the same prices. So if you scroll down, you will see this is like it is printing 50 times this star, and then we're getting the prices. Fine. So let me just add that step that we missed, that after typing send keys, I just want to click on this go button as well, right? So I will just do again a quick search. Maybe I will just go to the home page first, because this is how we have to do it. And this button we need to click. So if you just come down further, and if you see, this is a very straightforward input tag where value is equal to go. So let's use this. First of all, we will try to find an input tag where value equal to go, and we got the matching record. So let's do one thing. Let's quickly add this by dot xpath, okay, and dot click. So let me show you one additional thing now. Let me remove this driver dot quit, because I want to show you these things. Once you got this, you captured the price, but we need these prices in some kind of collection, right? So that I can put this data into Excel, CSV, or any other file. So I will be creating two lists, okay, where I will say my phone. Okay, you can use any variable. I'm just using my phone, and I will say my price. You can use scrap data, scrap price, and this is how we are creating blank lists. So when you don't give anything, just write the bracket. This will create a list for you. Same thing we are doing for prices. So we have two empty lists. So what I will do, once I will capture the text, okay, after printing, or maybe if you want to ignore this, print ignore. Once you get this, just say my phone dot append whatever text you got. Okay, so you say phone dot text. So it is actually printing the same thing. It is also appending into this list. Same thing I want to do with the prices. So I will say my prices dot append and price dot text. Now one thing which you have to notice, guys, first phone, first price will be same, right? Because these are basically two lists, but right now what we are doing, we are just scrapping the data, right? So if you see the first phone and the first price is same here. So what I need, I actually created two lists. So once this for loop is done, it will fill the data into these two lists. Now this is the main part, guys, that we discussed earlier, that we have a zip function in Python where you can zip two or more than two iterables. So right now, first iterable which I have is my phone, right? So I will say my phone, and the second thing which I want to zip is my price. So basically this will zip, okay, these two lists, and finally I should get the zip object, which I will say for the timing final list. Okay, so let me print this. Okay, so what I will do finally, this is zip class object. I want to convert into list or set, then only I can use it. So let me run a for loop. I will say data in, this is a zip class object. I need to convert into list. So I will just say list, and I will pass this final list here. Okay, so this zip object we are passing into list, and I will get the data into this data variable. Let me print this data. Okay, once you get the data, it's up to you how do you want to play with it. So right now whatever we are doing it, we are just doing to get the proper data. Let's enter Samsung phones, hit enter. It clicked on the Samsung checkbox, as you can see, and we got that result as well, guys. So if you just see, perfect. So this is the first record, okay, with the price. Sorry, this is the name, this is the price, name, price, and we got, this is list of iterables, or I will say list of records that we got, and this is done by zip. So this is one list, this is one list. When we say zip, it is iterating multiple tuples to you, right? So this is one tuple, this is one tuple. So basically we got list of tuples or tuples. Now it's up to you how do you want to use it. So if you want to again cross verify, Samsung Galaxy M01 price is 7499. So this is the session which is running, and you can see 7499. Second is M21 Midnight Blue, which is this one, price is 13999, which is this, and you can just validate the last records as well. Okay, so now let's store this data into an Excel sheet. Okay, for this we are using OpenPyExcel, that also we have created a dedicated tutorial on this, which I will link here in the description, so just go ahead and watch. So basically I'm going to use workbook class. Okay, so we will be creating object of this workbook. Let me say this WB. So once you get this WB object, let's take the active sheet. I will just say active sheet, which is definitely sheet 1. Let me store this into sh1. Now this is my sheet, this is my workbook, and this is my data, right? This is my final data. Now how do I use it? So let me run a small for loop. Okay, so this for loop will simply run multiple times, depend on how many records I have in this list. So I will say for x, y, z, or a, b, c, or I. Okay, let's use x in. Definitely I need this list, which is list of records, right? And every time whatever record I will be getting, I need to append into this particular sheet. So if I say sh1 dot append, there's one predefined method available in OpenPyXL. So when I say append, what we need to append this x. That's all. So once this for loop is done, it will append all the records that we have abstracted from the web. And if you just want to save this file, just say wb, which is just this object, and say dot save and provide the file name. So let me save this file as final data or final records. It's up to you. Dot xlsx. Fine. So now this is second part. This is part one. Maybe I can quickly just make it, this is part one, and basically this is part two. Part three will be sending email. Okay, so before we run this, let me just add one final point, guys, that you can see we are appending this record, right, which is coming from zip. Okay, so if you iterate this zip data here, then you will not get the same data over here. So make sure you don't iterate this data here, because this data will be lost, so you will not get any data here. So what we will do, this is the final list where we are getting. So anyways, we have verified, right, this data is working fine. And apart from that, whatever data we have simply printed, maybe I can remove it right away. I don't need this print statement. I don't need this print statement as well. And yes, rest everything is fine. So let's right click, run once again. And this time we should get the data. One more enhancement, guys, which we will do, like right now it is running in a normal mode. We can run this data in a, we can run this scrapping in a headless mode as well. Like it will run in the background, and you can do other activities as well. Right now what we are doing, we are just waiting for the script completion, right? So let's go back, and yes, you can see part one is done, part two is done. Just go here and you can see we got the same file which we have given here, right? Final record.xlsx. Just open this, and here we go. Exactly same data which we have scrapped, right? This is the name, this is the price. And now what you can do, you can see the sheet name, right? The sheet name is coming as sheet, doesn't look good. So let's change the sheet name also. So before we do this appending, let's change the name of the sheet. So here what we can do, we just write WB. Okay, and if you just notice what was the sheet, it is actually the sheet here, right? S capital. So let's go here and just write that we have a dedicated sheet, right? So here what we want to do, we want to simply change the title. Just say dot title, and I will give this name as Amazon Samsung data. That's all. Rest everything will remain same. And if you simply want to append one more thing, right now it's not giving you name and price, which is a heading, right? So you can do one thing, you can create a quick list. That list you can add into like sh1. Okay, so let's say if I create, or I will simply say sh1 dot append. Here in the iterable, I will first provide the name, which is this. Second, I will provide the price. So this will be my first record, which I'm anyways appending, and the subsequent records will be this. Clear? Let's run it once again so that we can see these two changes. Quickly run, and let me delete, close this, because unnecessary I will be getting multiple windows, multiple browsers actually. Okay, perfect. Let's wait for part one, part two. Yes, done. Let's go back and just open this Excel once again. and perfect. So this is the title that we updated, Samsung data. This is the heading that we have set, and this is name and price. Last part is sending email, which is very interesting. For email, guys, we have a dedicated 2 videos I will show you. So if you just go to this package called email demo, we have discussed this one, that how to send email with attachment. So this is exactly what I'm going to do right now. So in the test email 3, we discussed how to send email. So what I will do, let's copy the exact same code. Even I will copy this import. So let's go back. This is our program, web scraping demo. Don't worry, I will explain you the code, but yes, you need to refer the 2 videos that I have recorded where I have explained each and everything in detailed manner. So I will just copy these few lines of code, and just after part 2 I will paste. So what is happening right now, first of all, we are creating object of a class called email message. Then we are sending subject, which is training invitation. As of now, I will change it to Samsung scrapped data, Samsung phone data, depends on what kind of data you have scrapped. Then from, you can just say to automation team, or if you are a freelancer, you can just write your name or something. I will write from automation team, and I'm just sending to these 2 participants, okay, which is this ID, one is this ID, and this is one email template that we have. So if I show you, if you don't want to give this email template, that is also fine, but if you want this email template, I will just first of all keep this txt file here, where I will say, hi team, please find attached report from a test report which is scrapped from Amazon site. Thanks, whatever name you want to give. And this is just a txt file. So this txt file is available in the same package. So it will open that particular template. It will read the content. It will set as a content in this email. Second part is which attachment you want to add. So in our case, our Excel name is final record, right? So I will say final record.xlsx, and it will simply read in binary mode. It will read the data, it will get the file name, and it will add as attachment. Here we are giving main type as application, subtype as .xlsx, and finally we are just sending email. So here I just logged in with my account, and finally we are sending this message that we have configured. So let's do one thing. Once we are done, we will simply say email sent, and maybe I will just remove this part 1, part 2. Let's right click, run the final iteration, and maybe I will open the email accounts, okay, which I have just given as to and from. So just give me a second, guys. Let me quickly open that email. So yes, it's done, guys. If you just go and check, it says final. This is the, from here it is coming, right? I'm printing the file data name, which is not required. I can remove it. I can just remove this also. Final is email sent, and if you see the email, as a recipient I have given this particular email address, so I'm getting an email where it says, hi team, please find attached report which is from Amazon site, thanks. And this is the Excel that we have extracted, right? Just open it, and here we go. Now last iteration, one more enhancement I want to make. It's totally up to you. Do you want to incorporate this in your code or not? But if you see, most of the scrapping happens in the background, in the headless mode, right? Right now what is happening, it is opening everything in the foreground and it is running. So in order to make it as a, I will say, background process or in a headless mode on the background, we need to use an options class. Okay, so if you just type options, just control space twice, and you can see we have a dedicated options class, okay, in Selenium, which will basically help us to run our test in headless mode. So I'm just searching options class. This is for I, this is for, okay, let's try with the Chrome, since you're working with Chrome, right? So I need this options class from this particular package, which is selenium.webdriver.chrome.options. So basically we will be creating object first of all. So I will just make it OPT. Fine. Now in order to make it headless, you just need to say first of all OPT, which is options class object. Now add one argument called -- headless. Okay, so it will make your test in headless mode. So we are just adding one argument. Now this argument you need to pass, right? Sorry, this object that we created, we need to pass within this Chrome constructor. So after this, you just need to add Chrome options, okay, and just pass this OPT. So now everything will be running in the background. So just to give you a new idea, let's change it to new. I'm just changing the sheet name so that I don't have to delete, and same I will pass over here, so that at least we'll get to know this is a new record which we are getting when we are running our test in headless mode. Okay, let's run once again and hope it should run in the background in the headless mode. And yes, this is just a quick warning which we are getting, that we are running this version latest driver, it is picking up, and some deprecated warning. That's fine. So it will scrap, it will add into Excel and find as an email. As you can see guys, it did not start anything in the foreground, everything was happening in the background. Now if I go back and check, this is the new mail which I got, right? And the file name is final record new.xlsx. Perfect. So that's a quick example. I hope you have enjoyed. So guys, if you're able to complete this, then trust me, you will be using so many Python concepts here, okay, that we have discussed in our Python series. Now this is the final implementation, how you can use all the concepts. So I hope you will enjoy this web scraping part. Please try from your end and let me know if you need any kind of help or support. I will try my best, okay. And in case if you want this kind of videos, maybe with different site with different examples, just let me know in the comment section. I will try my best to cover all of them. So that's all. And guys, in case if you're new to this channel, then please subscribe, share with your friends, and yeah, we will see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.